Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you? I hope we are always healthy, excited, and happy. First of all, let me introduce our group. We are from Group 4. I'm Yani Novitasari as moderator and speaker, and my partners Diva Herlina as speaker, and the last one Putri Intan Aulia as speaker. We will present the result of our discussion on the curriculum and material development. Okay, the first material will be explained by me. 1. Material development. Definition of material development. According to Pennon, 1995, material is material or subject matter that is arranged systematically, which is used by teachers and students in the learning process. Material or other terms are teaching materials that are very unique and specific. In addition, according to Widodo and Desmani 2030, teaching materials are a set of learning tools or tools that contain learning materials, methods, limitations, and ways of evaluating that are designed systematically and attractively in order to achieve the expected goals, namely achieve competence or subcompetence, which all is complexity. From the expert of opinion, it can be concluded that teaching materials are all materials but information, tools, and text, which are systematically arranged and used in the learning process. Okay, the next material. A print teaching material. Print teaching materials are a number of materials prepared on the paper which can function of learning purpose or conveying information. Keep and Dayton 100, 1985 advantages of the printed teaching material is 1. That there is no need for special and expensive tools to use them. 2. In terms of delivery, these printed teaching materials are relatively easier, more efficient, and faster, and the cost is relatively cheaper than the shipping costs of other types of media. 3. From a learning point of view, printed teaching materials are superior to other types of teaching materials. Printed teaching materials are also not free from weakness or definitions. 1. Not being able to represent movement. 2. Presentation of material in printed teaching materials is linear. 3. Not being able to present events sequentially. 4. It takes a lot of money to make good printed teaching materials and requires strong reading skill from the reader. 5. And the last one in is difficult to provide guidance to readers who have difficulty understanding certain parts of the printed teaching materials, and it is difficult to provide feedback on the question they ask. The next material will be explained by Putri Intan Aulia. Putri Intan Aulia, time is yours.
Okay, the next material, non-print teaching material. The category of non-printed teaching material are realita teaching material and developed from single item, silent and display teaching material, video, audio, and overhead transparencies or OHT. The advantages of non-print teaching material are that they can display a combination of image and motion. can combine all media elements such as text, video, animation, image, graphics, and sound in the presentation unit. Utilize multimedia technology so that the learning atmosphere becomes interesting. In addition to several advantages, no printed teaching material also have weaknesses, including requiring complete tools to use it, requiring relative expensive costs to procure non-printed teaching material tools, and users must have skill appropriate to teaching material use. The next, principle and procedures for developing learning material. 1. Material should achieve impact. 2. Material should have students feel the as. 3. Material should help learner develop confidence. 4. What is being taught should be perceived as relevant and useful by camera. 5. Materials should require and facilitate learners' self-investment. 6. Learners must be ready to equate to the point being taught. 7. Materials should expose learner to language in authentic use. 8. The learner attention should be drawn to linguistic features of the input. 9. Materials should provide learner with opportunity to use the target language to achieve communicative purpose, and etc. The next material analysis. At this stage, what needs to be done is to identify student initial behavior that is related to their level of mastery and ability in the field of knowledge or subject to be given. How far students have mastered the content of the subject. 2. Planning. Formulation of learning objective. Development of concept maps of competence maps, the main reference for selecting subject topics in the curriculum, and instructional analysis that has been owned.
Thank you, Putri Intan Aulia. The next material will be explained by Diva Herlina. Diva Herlina, time is yours.
Thanks to moderator. Alright, I'm Diva Helena. I will explain the material selection of media and learning resources. At this step, the teacher already has instructional analysis, learning objective, and subject topics and their elaboration. With the provision that is already on, the teacher can then choose media and learning resources for teaching materials. The selected media and learning resources are tools and ways to facilitate, simplify the student learning process, and make the learning process more fun and interesting for students. According to BET 1995, several considerations must be considered in selecting media for teaching material packages, including access, cost, pedagogical consideration, interactivity, and ease of use. Organizational consideration, novelty management, and speed. Other learning resources that can be used are community leaders or important figures that are appropriate to the topic of the subject. The teacher can invite him to class, and the teacher can use him side by side with teaching material that have been developed in the learning process student. And the next material, selection of learning strategies. The learning strategy selection step is the step when the teacher arranges the learning sequence and designs student learning activities. Okay, number 3, development. After carrying out the analysis and design stage, the next step is to develop teaching materials. If in the end the teacher is still unable to move to start this development step, then try to choose one learning objective, Then complete the material, media, and strategy. Start, start writing and developing teaching materials only for that learning objective in the form of text or narrative, in form of LKS and practice assignments, the guidelines for examples and others. Number 4. Evaluation and revision. Evaluation is a process to obtain various reactions from various parties to the teaching material being developed. This reaction should be seen as input material to improve teaching material and make teaching material of higher quality. Okay, the next slide. In short, in developing good teaching material, there are 5 steps. The main point that should be followed are as follows. Number 1, the analysis phase in the step for seeking information about the behavior and initial characteristic of student. Number 2, the design stack is the stack of using learning objective based on the result of the analysis, selecting subject topic, selecting media and sources, and selecting learning strategies. Next, number 3, the development step is the stack of writing the teaching material as a whole. Write what you can write, it doesn't have to be in order. Number 4, the evaluation stack is a stack that must be tested to obtain input for improving the teacher material that have been developed. There are 4 ways that can be done, namely review by material expert, one-on-one trials, small group trials, and field trials. And the last, based on the comment obtained at each evaluation stack, revision are made to the part of the teaching material that need to be corrected and adjustment to the part. That's all from me.
Thank you, Diva Herlina. Okay, that's all the material today. Thank you for your attention and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.